3 people so far. I'm not sure if others will join or not. But thanks for being a part of this. And we have already kicked off the discussion, and it looks like fun. If it's just the 4 of us, and that means the discussion is more in depth and more targeted rather than firing on all directions. So probably we'll make the most of it. I think more people will join. It's a Saturday. It's I don't know, how's the weather like in Sydney?
It's Melbourne is very sunny and
Melbourne is
yeah,
crazy. Melbourne is cold and it's really
good.
bad.
Okay.
So
Today it's
yeah,
okay. Today it's fine. Today it's like okay.
yeah, but it's still cold. Yeah, getting up in the
Yeah, it is.
morning is probably the worst
Hardest
challenge
thing.
that'll
Uh,
be in the next few weeks or few months. I don't know. How's Sydney doing right now?
Sun is out, but it is too windy, so you can feel the cold. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, it's too cold. Yeah, from the last 2 days, it's chilling.
Mm.
The weather seems like winter has started already.
Yep, and that'll be the hard part for me as well. I mean, at least till last year, we used to go to the office. The only time we had to suffer is traveling to office. Then you're in office, you're warm. But here, do you turn on your AC? Will the electricity bill go up? All those worries comes up, and you're not very sure anymore. So
Sorry to interrupt, Manoj. By the way, I'll add my LinkedIn profile down the comment so you can follow me, so we can
Yeah,
share. Yeah, okay.
yeah, sure.
yeah,
I
yeah.
will.
So that's something that we do. Just
I
chat
will.
your
I will
LinkedIn
also.
profiles
Yeah,
on the
Yeah, even I'll
chats, and
add
then
my
yeah,
I will also
yeah
add my. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah I'll add mine. Yeah, yeah,
So what's for today? I mean,
yeah.
we have a very small crowd, so I'll let you drive
So,
rather than me driving. What?
Yeah.
so, so,
Yeah,
Vinesh, I have one question for
yeah.
you,
Go
which
for it.
I like, if you can answer. Like, so, right now we are all stuck at home, and so if we give interviews, all those interviews are virtual, not face to face. So, do you think that this virtual interviews is like a bit negative as compared to face-to-face interviews? Then, because sometimes you are not able to express your body language, or so I feel that's one of the. I feel like it's better to have face-to-face interviews than this
Yeah,
virtual
absolutely. It
interviews.
is better to have face-to-face interview because you start from a handshake, and that itself creates a big impact, right? When you're doing a face-to-face interview. But we are in this situation, and we don't have an option right now. So you have to learn to make the best out of what we have right now. So that's where you have to be mindful of what your setup is, what your video setup is, how your video looks. So Kimberly knows this. We do this exercise every week during the catch up. We actually rate how your videos look here and what are the common mistakes you're doing here. So for example, Paulvin, I think Paulvin is using a phone right now, and
Yeah.
what do you call it, orientation is portrait. It's vertical, it's not horizontal. So see, this looks better.
Yeah, it's
Immediately this
better
looks
now.
better, right?
Mhm.
I think we lost him though. Okay, so this looks better. But the problem with this is
No, I'm
the
here.
height of the phone.
Yeah.
You're looking up his nose, right? So that's a problem. And
Yeah.
he has a light right behind his head, so I can't see
Okay.
his face. On the other hand, Manoj, you have
Okay.
light on in front of you, so your
Yeah.
face is very clear and visible. So that's one good thing. But your camera angle is still low. So your camera angle is really important. Your camera should be on your eye level. So the problem is if you're looking down, it's like what is that word? I forgot that word. Your I forgot that word. If you're too high and if you're looking down, that means you're a dominant character. That is, you're
Okay.
looking down on someone. But if you're too low, I forgot that word. Opposite of dominant, whatever it is. So it's
Mm,
like you're not very strong enough and your character is not good. So your eye level should always be, a camera level should always be at your eye level. It's very important that way. Um,
Oh,
we lost Kambali. Okay,
okay.
that's fine.
So many people are commenting. So many people are commenting on the post, but no one is joining. Maybe something wrong. Something's wrong.
On
I
Meetup,
see a lot of people commenting on the status. Like, yeah.
let me just take a look. Unable to join? Not sure why that is. You guys did not have any issues, right?
No.
No. Just
Okay, Kimberly joined back. I'm not sure why that is. If you're keeping an eye on those messages, the next time if someone says, can you just say, ask to share their email ID,
Yeah.
and I can probably invite them to this event. Yeah, I just need
So
their email ID.
Something happened.
okay, I'll ask them to comment their email.
Yeah, comment their email ID and put it in the chat over here so that I can see it. I'm not monitoring it. I'll let one of you monitor it. So I'll continue with the chat.
Still, it's just I can't see.
Sorry. You're saying something, Kimberly?
Okay. I can't see anyone. I don't know what's happening. I can't see anyone.
Okay, I think Google Meet is running into trouble
green.
today. Anyway, for Manoj, we'll continue with the discussion. I think Paulvin is listening too.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I can't see anything.
Okay, I'm not sure why
I'm just
that is.
getting a blank screen.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the matter.
Yeah. Okay, so coming back to the topic, yeah, so it's very important that your camera level is right at your eye level. That gives a very, I wouldn't say commanding, a positive reflection to whoever looks back at it. Then comes the background. Background is important too. So my background is boring. There's nothing behind me that shows my character or what I'm trying to show other people. So these are the tools that you have to make up for the face-to-face interviews. Right? I remember if anyone follows the Friends series, there I think I'm not sure which series it is. So he was an actor, and his hand had a role in the advertisement. So he tried to make the most of his hand with a lot of expressions and stuff. So right now you have to try the same theme as well. You have to try to make the most of whatever you have. So the background again, I think Paulvin's background was interesting. There were a lot of things. Kimberly's background also has a lot of different elements. Yours, Manoj, is kind of plain. Mine is also boring, plain. There's nothing behind me. There's no picture. There's no color. There's nothing to show that there's something. There's some character in the conversation. So these are some things. And hand gestures. Use your hands. That's something that you can use. It's important. So there, the camera angle becomes important as well, right? So the way you sit, the way how comfortably you are, the camera angle, everything becomes important there, so that your camera angle is also plays an important role over there.
So a few of them is commenting their email ID.
Can you share that, copy that into the chat so that I can, anyone who is comfortable. Otherwise, I'll have to copy here.
No, I will do it.
Yeah.
No problem. You keep on going.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think Google Meet made themselves free for all last week, and they might be running into bandwidth issues, or I'm not sure what happened. Anyways, we'll continue the conversation. So what else? What else had I? Lighting. Okay, so we have Shika's email. I'll add her right now. I have sent an invite to Shika. Kriti. Okay. So these are the elements that you have to take care of during having a conversation. Make sure the light is perfect, your background is all right, the camera angle is. These are the basic things. What else? Is there anything else I missed, Kimberly? I think these are the important ones. Kimberly is
Yeah,
on mute, I think.
yeah.
The camera,
We
don't
can't.
look at the screen.
Okay.
Look in the camera and not at the screen.
Look at the camera. That's a really important thing as well. So it's important that your eye contact is not on the screen. If you have multiple screens, don't look at a different screen and a camera at a different place. And it's also important that if you're using your phone, make sure it's fixed somewhere. You don't hold it in your hand and make another
Yeah.
mess out of it. So that's also important.
I have added few email ID.
Yep, I'm inviting all of them. So thanks for joining, Kriti, Shika, and Wasim. I'm not sure what happened. Google Meet is messing up, or because others could join, so I'm not sure what errors were you guys getting over there?
No, it was
It
like
was saying unable to join.
Unable to
no,
join.
for me it was saying timed out. It's like you're waiting for someone to pick you into the
Yeah.
meeting and then it automatically goes time out.
It
Okay.
was just basically loading to let you in.
Okay, I have no idea why that happens. I think Google Meet made themselves public and free for all last week,
Yeah.
and probably some bandwidth issues or something is causing this issue. I'm not very sure. We never had this issue before, so glad that you joined. So we were just having the conversation. Shika and Wasim probably already know. We were talking about some video tips on what makes videos better. So adding to that, I like Kriti's background over here. Kriti's background is good. It's different. It's just that it's different compared to me, Shika, Wasim, or Manoj. There is some colors. And Paulvin, your background is probably the best. Just that your camera angle is bad. Yeah. So
I like
that's,
Derek's with the flower.
yeah,
and
Derek.
everything.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. So Derek has a lot of color in that as well. So that's a really
Yeah.
cool background as well. So well done, Derek, on that.
Vinesh, I have added most of them. I don't know whether I missed anyone.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate the help, Paulvin. So I had to manually add the emails to get them invited. So yeah, that's what happens. Welcome, Shrikant.
I
So
think
yeah,
Malti was also waiting.
sorry.
Malti was also waiting.
Okay, Malti. I think I
didn't
have
say.
Maladi's email, so I can probably write to her.
Okay, I'll try to get few more.
No, I don't have Maladi's email.
Someone has commented now. Let me see. Who is that?
So just keep an eye on the comments. If someone shares the email ID, I'll just invite them over here.
Yeah, one more is coming.
Yeah. So apologies for that. That's what technology does to us. We have to overcome those adversities and move on. That's our challenge, and I'm sure we'll keep move on. So coming back to the topic, yeah, Derek, yes, your background is awesome, especially those yellow flowers and whatever it is. That adds to the beauty of your background. So I was just saying, it's important to make sure what is the whole environment. A few important topics that we touched for people who are new. Lighting is important. Paulvin, if you can turn on your video, I can show how bad lighting can make it. Yeah. So for him, the light is on the background, so we can't see his face. That's bad. On the other hand, I think Shrikant, light is on the face. Manoj's also light is on the face. For me as well. If I turn off the light, I look like this, which is kind of scary. I don't want that. So it's important that lighting is behind us, in front of us. So that's one aspect of it. Second aspect is the camera angle. Camera angle is very important. To give live examples, I'm just inviting Harish. Oops. I'm just inviting Harish. Give me a minute.
Yeah, Vinesh. Harish has given his email ID.
Yeah.
Over the
So
phone
I've invited him. Yeah. So camera angle again. Paulvin's is bad. You're looking up to him. Who is looking down? And I don't think anyone is looking down. So if I'm very high compared to you, I become the dominating character. If you're very low compared to who the other person is, it's opposite of dominating. I've been trying to figure out that word for a long time. I'm not getting that word, but it's opposite of dominating. So you don't want to do that as well.
Maybe inferior.
Inferior or something like that. And then the camera angle. So I have two monitors. My laptop monitor is here, my monitor is over here, and my camera is over there. So if I look here and talk, that's weird. And if I look here and talk, you don't get that connection. But instead, if I look here and talk, it's different, right? So it's important that your eye contact is important. Otherwise, you think that you are not very interested. Like I'm doing something else right now. I'm inviting Suchi to this event, and you think I'm not valuing your time. It's easy to make up assumptions like that. So eye contact is very important. Camera level is very important. Lighting is very important. Your headphone quality. I don't see anyone having issues with that this time. Usually we have someone with a lot of background noise. So it's important that you test out your headphones. Make sure that the volume is okay. You can hear the person okay, and things like that. And yes, if you're using your phone, make sure it's fixed somewhere. Don't move it here and there. That's very distracting. Right. So these are all the some few tips that you can make your the whole environment or the make most out of what we have right now. So just to reinforce, I think Derek wins a best background contest. Derek, and I think I like Kriti's also. Wasim, you're looking good today. So he has changed a bit as well. Shika has improved the camera angle. Good. Yeah. So I just and I like Srikant's lighting as well. It's right on his face where you can see everything. What's on his face. So Paulvin loses on the lighting thing though, but that was a good lesson that we could share to everyone.
Yeah,
That's how things happen.
I did it in purpose, so everyone can.
Oh
learn
yeah.
from it.
Yeah. We get that point. Okay. So I think most of the people know how this thing works. So we have a Google form in the description for the meetup. What happens is you submit your questions there. I pick up a few questions and talk about it. That's what we ideally do. So the first few minutes we just chat with each other, and then I spend a few minutes talking about those questions. I did not get many questions today, but I got one question today. I wish Malati was here. That's Malati's question, but I'll get into it anyway. So Malati,
she has sent a message. Probably she'll send the mail ID now. So,
okay. So yeah, we'll probably repeat once she is back. So this question is for all of you. So I think it'll take some time. Going back to the basics, when someone asks, "How are you?" how do you respond? So that's open to all of you. What do you think response to "How are you" is?
Better than good.
Better than good. Did you read my description? Did you? Yeah. So how would you respond to that answer? Question. Sorry.
Like, I'm good. How are you? How's situation there? How's your health in this?
You won't
kind of
ask so many
situation?
questions in one go, will you? How are you? Usually,
based on their response.
Yeah, based on the
Based on their
response.
response. And the conversation always continue based on the recipient's response.
So what if the recipient says "Good, thanks"?
That's really good to hear.
Yeah,
What next? You're trying to make a conversation out of this, right? So that's a tricky
Hope
part.
your family is doing well. Is your work is being affected with COVID? Are you able to manage your things? Yeah. But by
Something like,
then
how
the
do you find it
conversation will
working
start.
from home? How do you find the new norm of working from home?
Yeah, that's a new question. I think everyone
I
asked
think
that question.
I think it depends on the situation you guys are in. Probably some people might be walking around passing each other out. But usually I usually stick with I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah.
Came back.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're passing by through and some random stranger asks, "Hi, how are you?" I think that's a good point, because you don't want to have a deep conversation with that random stranger. Or if you want to, you can do whatever you want. But otherwise, if you are this is the conversation starter, and usually I find it extremely difficult to continue that conversation. Hi, how are you? So that's so I think Paulin read the description of how I came up with this event. I used to go for a public speaking course, and a guy over there gave the speech on how to respond to how are you. So the typical response is good, thanks, right? And that ends over
That
there. You have
stops.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a what do you call it? What's the word? It's a stopper, not stopper. Blocker or whatever it is. Yeah. So he suggested to be more enthusiastic about your answer. It's like, say absolutely great, or better than good, or fantastic. Say stuff like that so that it kind of prompts a question or a follow-up question from the other person. You're like, okay, why are you so excited, right? And then the conversation builds, and
Yeah.
then the conversation builds. So when you say good, thanks, that's done. You have nothing more to say over there, or nothing more to say over there. So my go-to is, hi, how are you? Then I ask the weather. Now the question is, how are you adjusting with the current situation, and try to build a conversation. But again, it's some people don't want to respond. For example, um, if you are on the other side, for example, if you are a shy person, you don't talk much, and you're having a meeting with a recruiter or a hiring manager or some person, and that person comes to you, says, hi, how are you? You say, good, thanks. And then it's an awkward silence, which is not great from you for you as well. So it's important that
Yeah.
you also build a conversation, or you also leave a trailing what do you say, breadcrumbs. You leave some breadcrumbs so that the other person can pick on it and make something out of the conversation. So that's really important over there. Anything you would like to share?
No, those words, no, fantastic. That brings us some energy itself. Like there's something. So people might ask, "What are you doing? Fantastic in this crisis."
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But
So
but what if you're not? Like, what if you
What
say,
if you
I'm all right, not that bad. How are
yeah,
you? So there's
then
that like,
don't say I'm all right. Try to bring something more into that. For example, um, n- don't. I can't find an example. So
I
for
mean, kind
example,
of.
if you're
I
I'm
think
Fostering the
very good.
positivity, building the
I think
conversation
it's
with
better.
positivity, rather
yeah
than going, okay, all right, situation is somewhat okay, like that. Instead of going, like, it's good, going good, like kind of building positivity, so that the other end may also kind of saying some good
yeah,
response.
so something that I say is I'm doing I'm not too bad. I'm adjusting to the new norm. So that's
yeah.
what I say. So then that kind of has a reply to that. Okay, this is a new norm. So this is what is happening in the industry. So that kind of has a trail to that, and there will be a follow-up question over there. So don't stop at I'm doing okay, or I'm not too good, or I'm all right. Have something trailing over there so that the other guy can pick up the crumbs and continue the conversation. That's very important.
I believe that it's better to show emotions in the text you send, because usually when you say good, there is no emotion in that. But when you say you are great, or even the sadness emotion can be shown through words.
It's important that you don't overdo it, though. You
Yeah,
might scare the other person, right?
yeah.
It's
maybe
like
if you say I'm doing okay, I'm adjusting. How are you adjusting? Would that be a
that sounds
good
good too. That sounds
that
good too. You have a follow-up question over there, right? So that's good too. But once you say, the situation is not too good, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, nothing is working, this, and then you kind of scare the other person out. So don't overdo it, which is very important, and have a balance over there. Anything else around that?
maybe could you ask how has your week been? Or like instead of like once that person says
That
something.
also is a really good open-ended conversation, rather than having a hi, how are you? Or instead say how has your week been, or how has your day been, or it's kind of an open-ended question, which kind of brings in more conversation into there, rather than this thing. So I'm not sure if any one of you have been into my physical meetups, not the online ones. I don't think anyone has been part of it.
No, no.
Shika was
No.
there. Uh, so we do the big
Yeah, the
talk exercise over
monthly.
there.
Yeah, the monthly meeting.
Yeah. So There I actually do an icebreaker session called Big Talk. I'd highly recommend you to look that up. I'm getting noise from, I think it's Manoj. I'm muting you for now. There's something called Big Talk. The founder's name is Kalina Silverman. I'm just typing it into the chat. So look this up. So this is what I do for my meetups. She has a wonderful video on YouTube as well, as in how she experimented on big talks rather than small talks. This is what happens if your phone is not fixed. All right, Paul. You're giving loads of lessons today.
I know.
I know that was
thank me later.
You did that on purpose. I know that.
Yeah, it's a live demo,
Yeah. So what Big Talk is all about is it's about she kind of commercialized that. It's a really interesting thought. So what I do in my meetups is it will have some cards with a question on it. Questions like what is one thing that you do differently today? What would you do if you think that you're going to die in 2 weeks? Something that will make you think. And the beauty of it is, even if you are random strangers, if you play this game, it's kind of a game. You ask this question to the other person, and the other person opens up. So the connection they build, rather than having this small talk, is absolutely huge. This is the exercise I do always. I have a networking session in the beginning before my event, so everyone talks to each other, but they probably don't even remember who the other person is or what the emotion of the other person is. But once they do this for 5 minutes, they instantly connect to that person, and they instantly have a rapport around what's happening. I wouldn't recommend to do this on everyone or a random person who you go and don't ask them, what is one thing you regret today? I'm like, shit, no, I'm not doing that, right? But you can take some ideas out of it on how human emotions work and how you can build the structure. And,
but would that be a conversation starter, or would that be?
If it is a game, or if it is a staged thing, go for it. But otherwise, I don't think it will make sense as a conversation starter.
Yeah, true that.
Another thing to keep your conversation alive is to you yourself be interesting. If you are a boring person, you won't have anything to talk. As simple as that. I think I shared the story last week as well. Look up Kaylee Chu. I'll put it on the comments as well. So Kaylee Chu, she was a very introverted person. She had issues with talking to people, and then in 2017, I think she went on this mission to have 100 lunches with strangers. She did that. She completed that in a year, and she has written a book. She has come in a newspaper. She has come in media. She's all over the place right now. But in her book, she specifically mentions that during the first few lunches, she had nothing to talk. She had nothing to share. I mean, when the other person asked, what did you do in your weekend? I was like, nothing, usual stuff. There was nothing to share over there, right? There was nothing to have a conversation over there. And she intentionally started going for swimming lessons. I think she did boxing classes, stuff like that, so that she has some points to talk whenever whoever she is meeting up next. So that is one thing that I encourage in these events as well. So probably Srikanth, Shika, and Kimberly knows that. If you're not doing anything interesting, I'll ask you, hey, how is your week been? The usual, and that's it. You end the conversation over there. So I kind of challenge everyone to do something interesting. Maybe it's reading a book, maybe it's painting something, maybe it's what else? What crazy
cycling,
stuff?
Cycling,
baking,
cooking, fitness.
I made make your first LinkedIn. Like I made my first LinkedIn post. So,
congrats, well done. So LinkedIn post. I think Paulvin also made a couple of posts. Congrats on that. So Paulvin also shared his story on how he started talking to 5-6 people and how it completely changed his perspective. So unless you do something, your life is going to be boring. You'll have nothing to talk. So that's very important, that you make yourself engaged and you make yourself interesting, so that you'll have something to talk. So I challenge you, the next time you join this event, I'll ask this question. Make sure you have something interesting to talk. If you say it's the usual, that means you're not probably doing anything. And trust me, you're all doing something great. You're all doing something new. It could be that you woke up today early, or like Srikanth said last time, he woke up at 11 o'clock in the last few days because he joined some webinars which was hosted in US. So he slept late, and that's a new thing as well. That's a good thing as well. So anything, look back. I'm sure you're doing a lot of stuff. Just that accept that you are doing something, and it's not like you're only job searching and doing stuff.
Maybe you can like write it down on a book what you've done for the week. I mean, that would help you, you know, remember what you've done, because you forget what you've done. You just write like week wise, from this week to this week, I did so many things.
If you like journaling, it's a number one thing. I see Paulvin taking a lot of notes. That means he is serious about what I say. Others are probably, they'll forget what I said in probably a couple of days. But Paulvin can look back
I'm
at whatever.
writing, but it's not visible.
Okay, so you're writing too.
Secretly writing.
Yeah. So that's where journaling is very important. I don't do it, but I know that it's really valuable. Say at the end of the day or end of the week, you look back and write down what you have achieved. And I'm sure you have achieved a lot of things. You might have finished your painting. You might have finished your you cooked something new. You tried some new physical exercise. You tried something, anything. Could be anything at all, right? But what happens if you don't acknowledge that is at the end of the month, you look back. By the way, do you guys know when the shutdown started?
It started in March 2nd week or 3rd week. Yeah.
How long has it been now?
It started on 20th of March.
20th of March.
thought
Yeah.
21st.
It's been almost a month and a half.
Month and a half, yeah.
Look back, what have you done in the month and a half? Or do you feel that the month and a half just went by like that?
Just
I've
went up.
done. No, I've done a lot. I've gained my confidence.
Can't hear you, Kimberly.
You can't hear me? Oh,
your voice was breaking. So
okay. No, I've done a lot. I've gained my confidence. I have done I'm doing my internship. I've met new people. I've met with recruiters. And
so Kimberly has a clear idea of what she has done. So someone else said it went just like that. That means you probably did not acknowledge what has happened in the past 1.5 months. You probably, you might have done a lot of things, but you haven't looked back and what's that word? Self-appreciated yourself or self-reflected yourself, right? So when you reflect back on what has happened, even if it's you binging on Netflix, time will just go like that, and at the end of the day you'll feel you've wasted your time. But if you look back and say, hey, I watched this, I wanted to really see this, these are some of the emotions that I went through, and I'm just making things up, you will feel more valued about that time. So that's what journaling does to you. And if you can do it, go for it. It's a brilliant exercise. I just can't do it. I'm not that person. I hate writing down stuff. Although I say, write down this, write down that. I just can't. I mean, even if I write it, I'll never look back at it. But when you write it down, there is a huge impact. I've seen that impact on a lot of people. So if you are a person who can get that impact, go for it.
Vinesh, I have a question. Not just to you, I think to the entire audience. I was actually looking through Amazon Prime Video for some Australian series or something. Basically, the intent of doing that was maybe catch up on something every day for like 30 to 45 minutes. Generally, I watch some movie in parts during my lunch and dinner, because I don't sit at a stretch and watch a movie for 2.5 hours or so. Okay, so coming back to my thing on the Australian series is, I have not been a big fan of English movies, and but I find it a bit challenging when people are talking to me over the phone, especially if I'm talking to recruiters. There are a few of them who are pretty whose speech is quite clear and I don't have a problem understanding them. But then there are a few of them who are not so clear. Maybe they belong to some other part of the world. I'm not sure why it is. But I just discussed this with one of I think one of our team whom we meet up. I think with Cubes or someone. So and I also was wondering, like how do I catch up with this accent? So, any suggestions on some Australian series which is interesting as well? Because I started off with some travel thing because I'm interested in travel in general, but it was not that interesting. It was Oz Travel or something in
I
Prime.
think that's a very old series. Yeah, but that guy is good. So I mean, I wouldn't be an expert on this. I myself
So
don't
that's why
follow.
I said I'm throwing.
It's open to all.
Open
Please
to
get
all.
the suggestions
I
coming.
think I
Yeah.
think I
I
would watch
know.
the TED Talks. I mean, just because they do a lot. And you have people from different countries speaking, so you get to know the different English accents. So I would just watch a 15-minute TED Talk video every day.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
just noting it down.
Yeah.
Sorry, I noted in our own chat.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's reference for
Yeah,
everyone.
so
It's
TED
fine.
Talks is one thing. What else?
So I would
There's
highly
on
recommend.
Netflix. There's
Yeah, go for it. Go for it,
no, no,
Pratik.
go, no, no, go
Yeah.
for it.
Okay, so I highly recommend watching the news and radio shows over here. I mean, those people are solid Aussie accents, right? So,
Okay.
watching the news and any shows, any documentaries around news it's really useful.
So I don't have access to TV. I mean, it's limited to my mobile thing. So
I think you can download apps for news. I
yeah, I
think
was just about to ask. I was just about to
ABC,
ask.
SBS 9, 7, all of these have apps which you can just download and watch news live.
Okay.
Even on YouTube, you can watch the
Yeah,
news.
even
Like
on
Yeah.
YouTube, I
it's
think you can
much.
watch. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think the most effective way is talking to actual losses on
Absolutely.
face to face.
Yeah.
That's
That's my first go-to advice. Go and meet for coffee, but right now we can't meet for coffee. So if
Right.
the next best thing is if you can invite random people for virtual coffee catch-ups, go for it. That'll be a really good thing. You can
Okay.
also tell your intention that this is this. I'm new. I'm from the subcontinent. I'm trying
Right.
to get more comfortable with the Aussie accent, and people will be more open to have a conversation with you in that case. But that's also fine. That's also absolutely fine.
So I just noted like SBS 9, 7, some news channels, TED Talks. Anything else?
There's an old Australian comedy series. It's very old, but if it also helps you build conversation on Netflix, it's called Kath and Kim. It's very famous amidst Australians here. I got to know about it at my previous workplace.
Okay, can you just type that?
Yeah, I'll type that.
Thanks. Yeah.
Watch AFL. That's the best thing probably you can get out of it. You'll understand the sport, you'll understand the aggression of Aussies, you'll understand the passion of Aussies as well.
So is it Footy League or something?
Footy League,
Australian
yeah.
Footy League.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch some highlights of some classic matches, watch the commentary. It's really fun.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So Australians are pretty much to footy and rugby. So if you are someone who knows that, they will get what do you say? They get hyped up, like they want to talk to you more.
Absolutely.
Okay. So rugby was one more sport. I'm just going to get that. All right.
Understand the rules, else they will kick you out of the.
Yeah, make sure you pick a team before you join a company. Otherwise, there will be a big fight over there usually.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Paulvin, you are from India? I mean, you are currently in India?
No. I'm currently in Sydney. Actually, Newcastle. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So today's conversation was a bit zigzagged, as in we had technology issues, we had difficulty in people joining, but I think we made the most of it. I didn't notice that you were signed in, Baijin. It's a long time since we saw you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm actually keeping a bit quiet because my two kids are ready to barge into my room.
Okay, that's all right. So Baijin has been part of my network walks, I think, for months and months. He used to come down every now and then. He also likes to be involved in these conversations and help job seekers. So please get in touch with him. Baijan, if you can share your LinkedIn profile or whatever your preferred mode of communication is in the chat, maybe people can reach out to you at a later point of time.
Yeah. I think it is easier for us. I mean, I find it like many people told me with my name, they can easily find me anywhere in
Oh
social
yeah,
media.
that's true too. So
Yes.
just search it. You'll find it.
Yeah.
So have a chat with him as well. Thanks for joining us. So we have, I think today most of us are regulars except Kriti, I think joined once in the past, right? Derek has joined a couple of times as well. Manoj is the only new. Manoj and Baijin is all the new person. So thanks for being a part of this. So anything else you'd like to share or anything else? Yep, go for it,
I
Kriti.
have a question, Vinesh. So I wanted to ask everybody, like, how do you network, or how are you seeking jobs that are beyond job postings? Like, how do you approach that? Because I feel that if you say go to a company's director or whoever you want to get in touch with, it can seem very transactional at this point. So, like, how do you build those connections in order to, for people to know you and for you to connect with everyone?
Vinesh, can I talk my personal
Yeah,
experience?
go for it.
Yeah, yeah. Hello, Kriti. Actually, before the COVID season, when you used to get to approach to the recruiters of managers, like if you send 20 or 30 messages to them, probably very few used to reply. But what I personally felt is that after this season, people are reaching out to many people and trying to help out everyone. So they don't mind it if you send a message straight to their inbox. They try their maximum nowadays. Like that's what I feel. Like maybe they won't be able to give you a job or any feedback, but they might give a name of another person, try to contact them or try to contact this person. They might be able to help. So don't feel that it is awkward to message someone straight after you send a request. Like if you are like people understand your situation and it shows that you are like very eager to find a job or you're passionate about finding a job. So I think like at least 80% won't see your messages as a negative. I'm right now reaching out to people, but it's better to have a content like you should demonstrate like this is you and this is your experience. So should not make it like very what do you say, very long intro or something, but just try to show them that this is you within that short conversation. So they might feel you are the right candidate or something.
I think it's important to thanks for that, Paulvin. Really good conversation over there. I think it's
Vinesh, I also
important.
have to share on that.
I
Yeah,
also
yeah,
wanted to share one thing, but
yeah. So
anyways, yeah.
I'll give you opportunity. So I think a really important thing here is to make sure that you don't feel you don't be transactional. Don't go and say I'm looking for a job. Keep the job aspect completely out of the picture. Tell who you are, what make the conversation about the common technology or common things that what's happening over there. Have a conversation. It's just a conversation. And say you're really into this, would like to learn more or something like that. It's about learning, it's about being curious. And it's yes, they will know it's about a job eventually, but don't what is jump the gun. Don't jump the gun and make it about just the job. Have a conversation. Have a good conversation on any common topics. Could be the technology, it could be the culture, it could be anything, right? So it's very important in that aspect. Go ahead, Harish.
Yeah, so couple of times I do find someone from my connection list would have liked a particular opening and would have like shared a particular opening. Let's say, for example, Vinesh is posting a job opening, and probably uh, uh, Srikanth is sharing it. All right. So because Srikanth is in my friend list, I come to know that okay, Vinesh is one recruiter who is looking for BA opportunities. Now, given that, if Vinesh is not in my connection, I might send him a connection request on LinkedIn Or if I find something on Seek, I might refer to that particular job posting and say that, okay, first I start with not just a plain request with a personalized note with just a limitation of some 300 characters or something. So first I just say like, how are you? Greetings, how are you? I came across this posting, and then paste that link if you have that space, and then give a quick introduction about like, I am a BA with so and so years of experience and looking for an opportunity. If we could get connected and maybe like kind of help each other types. So maybe 60-70% of the people would still go ahead and accept the invite request. After that, then you again reach out to them over a message with a slightly longer message on LinkedIn Messenger, and give a background of them of yourself to them. Sometimes
Absolutely, yeah.
sometimes people also share phone numbers, and once or twice I called up someone saying that, okay, you had shared this opportunity, so I wanted to discuss about this. So that also works. And in one case, the recruiter was not she was not directly responsible for that particular job, but because of that conversation, what she ensured was, going forward, whenever she came across a BA profile, at least in the last 2 weeks, she has shared me 4 posts.
Yes,
So
you're right.
I'd like to add a point to that.
So
This just
this is
happened yesterday.
totally an individual approach. So sorry, Unesh, this is
Yeah.
totally an individual approach. Someone might want to do it, someone might not want to do it, but there is nothing stopping you to trying from that. That's all.
Yeah, so reference has a huge importance over here. So this just happened yesterday. I mean, a recruiter from Hayes had posted a opportunity for data analyst, and this friend of mine had commented on that, and he got no response. So he just looked up at my mutual friends and saw that I was a mutual friend with a recruiter, and he just messaged me if I knew that recruiter, and I happened to know that recruiter really well. I just introduced themselves, and immediately got a response. So that's reference has huge power over here. It's if you can
It's the
tap
same
into
story that
that
I shared.
reference network, it's easy to build those conversations. Kimberly, go ahead. You had to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say that if you're on LinkedIn and if you're following a recruiter's post, or you're following the post on LinkedIn, or the person is saying an accounting, or he owns an accounting firm, and you're following his post and you comment on his post and he comments, then maybe you can connect with him and you can have a conversation with him. That's the way things work for me. That's the way I feel. So then there was this one person, he happened to be in a networking group, which even I happened to be in. And then he posted something and I commented. And then he saw my profile on LinkedIn and then he messaged me. So yeah, I mean,
So
that's the way
having that
I.
familiarity is very important. For example, today if Harish messages me something, or Shika, Kimberly, or Srikant messages me something, I will respond to their message because I know that they've been part of this event for some time. But on the other hand, if Manoj messaged me something, I wouldn't have that same level of connection that I have with other people, right? So being a part of such communities, following that. So for example, for me, another approach would be just comment on my post with some engaging conversations. Not awesome, great, thanks, no. Just ask some questions, be curious. And if you do that for a week or two, I know, hey, Kriti is this person. I know she has been talking to me about this. And then if you send me a message, I will be open to having a conversation. So creating that context can be really helpful in this case.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right, I think we've been talking for way longer than what we were supposed to. Thanks for all your time. Next Tuesday, I'll have this event, and next after the Thursday, I have Australia Job Seekers event. So if you have not been a part of it, please feel free. It's really valuable session. I think Harish and Shika has been a part of it in the past. So if you really it's about stories. It's about hearing different stories and understanding how the market works. Next Saturday, I may or may not have this again. It's just that I might have a busy Saturday, so I may or may not have it. But otherwise, I'll go ahead. By the way, did you guys watch the Chat with Joe episode? I think Shika watched
Yeah,
it.
I watched it.
Yeah. So go ahead and watch those videos as well on YouTube. It's more about personal branding. If you think it's irrelevant for you, you are so wrong. Let me tell
Sorry,
you yours.
which one, Vinesh? Sorry to interrupt.
I have another meetup group called UV2.0, and last week we had a live YouTube session called Chat with Joe. It was a chat with a coach named Joe McCarthy. It was really insightful, but that's about personal branding. It's not about job seeking, but it both goes hand in hand. If you can take
Yeah,
personal branding on board on your job search, it'll be really powerful what you're doing right
yeah,
now. So thanks for being a part of this. I think that's that for today. Until next time, I'll see you again. Bye. Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't take a selfie. Sorry, I almost forgot that part. Can you, Harish, can you turn on your video, please?
No, not really.
Not really. Okay. So just
Not presentable.
yeah. Okay, that's fine. Understandable. Yeah. So I'll on the count of three, please smile, and I'll take a screenshot.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. All right. Oh shit. No, wait. It did not work out. Another technology issue. So my laptop sometimes hangs if during this broadcasting and meeting thing. So I actually quit the screenshot
Hello.
taking software. So it did not work out. Just give me a minute.
Your laptop is shy of taking pictures.
Sorry. Why is it not coming up? Why is it not coming up? Okay, I think I'll take a snap. Okay, so 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Yeah, I got it. Got it this time. All right. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I'll see you all
right.
next time.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Thank you.
Have a great
Bye.
weekend,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.